Welcome to episode 153 of our Family Travel Australia series. This week we set up camp at an authentic Outback farm stay called The Lake. We explore every corner of Quilpie, located in South West Queensland. The boys fossick for the famous boulder Opal, and we meet Australia's largest dinosaur, Cooper. Plus, we share the must-know road safety advice for travelling in the Outback, and we enjoy the best bath experience we've ever had. Oh, and we encounter some pretty crazy wildlife along the way. If you like the episode, give us a thumbs up, and if you love our channel, be sure to subscribe. Grab a drink, let's do it. Yeah, you're doing awesome, man.
I wish I had the drill.
Well,
Next one.
When you get bigger, you can use the drill.
Well, this is even harder.
It's good for your muscles.
Yeah, but it takes forever because I have a slow arm and a fast arm.
Well, we better use your fast arm then.
Yeah.
Good job.
Outback Queensland, absolutely turning on the weather for us. Isn't that a great change? We've had a hell of a lot of rain. Now we're staying about 5 kilometres out from this little rural town known as Quilpie on a privately owned property, a hobby farm about 2,000 acres in size, known as The Lake. This is awesome.
It is so beautiful here. In fact, we had every intention of camping off-grid down by the lake. So we rolled into Quilpie, filled up our tanks at the Visitor Information Centre. Unfortunately though, due to all of that rain that they've had out here in Channel Country, the lake is bursting at the seams and it is very wet and muddy down there. So no camping down by the lake at the moment. They do, however, have a great powered campground site on the eastern side of the lake that looks out over those beautiful water views. So it kind of is the best of both worlds.
I think it is actually the pick of the locations because you're then getting that sunset across the water, which we absolutely have loved. On arrival, we were met by the very friendly caretakers who invited Jasper straight over to feed their little stud goats. I didn't know there was such a thing.
Nip Nip.
Nip Nip was Jasper's little goat. Gee, had fun.
Nip, nip.
We then purchased a crate of firewood, which is fantastic because you can have a fire at any of the sites. There is a very large communal fire pit as well and a licensed bar, which we will be checking out a little later tonight. And we headed down to the front row of drive-through sites. Now this would be our hot tip actually. If you do have the opportunity to choose one of the front sites, that way you get this uninterrupted view which is perfect for those sunsets.
Yeah, it really is beautiful. And the way that they've laid out the campground is just awesome. Of course, they've got great amenities and facilities here as well. A really large camp kitchen available to everyone, and ensuite style bathrooms, as well as that awesome communal fire pit.
I think the highlight, though, would have to be the bathhouse.
Oh, yeah.
It is an open air, private bath area with 2 clawfoot baths opening out with those views back to the lake and also the starry sky above you. We did the sunset hour, which was 5:30 to 6:30 at this time of the year. Chose our scented face masks. I actually ended up with sandalwood and Katie got lemongrass, and Jasper wouldn't touch it.
No, he wouldn't. And that's good quality mud down from the lake, full of those rich minerals from the artesian waters, of course, that you are bathing in as well.
How am I looking?
So good. So it takes 10 years off you, Del?
I'm all prepared.
You ready to hop in?
Yeah.
Have you got everything you need for your bath?
Yes, I've got a few micro minis to play with.
Yes, it's very good for you. I have to say, once I actually got to the other bath without Jasper, I could have stayed there for hours. It was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and another tip is do book this in when you get here, because it is super popular and you can book it for a 1 hour session. It's $25 per person.
All right, just out of town here, again, only 5 kilometres down the road is Quilpie. Jasper and I had a bit of an adventure day after visiting the Visitor Information Centre.
Let me just get his static position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, here we are. We've just popped into town. A little bit of an adventure day for us too, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
All right, where are we?
We are in Quilpie.
Yes. This is a cool little outback town. Population about 530 people. Very well known, of course, for their boulder Opal. And as you speak to people who've come through town, they also say how friendly everyone is here. A very friendly town. We love that. Of course, our first port of call is the Visitor Information Centre. This is really cool. There's a couple of museums here. One of them's all about the history of Quilpie and the wider region. There's also a really cool little art gallery that's worth checking out. They do have a night show. They spent a bucket load of money putting in this massive screen, and then the internet let them down. So anyway, they might need Elon Musk to come out here. Hey?
Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, there's another museum on site here as well. You're pretty interested in that, aren't you?
Yes. Toot toot. Here comes a train.
Excellent.
The end of the line.
It is the end of the line, and apparently there's not a lot really that you can do at the end of the line except maybe grab a selfie, so we'll go and do that.
Yeah. We made it to the end of the line. Toot toot.
And then we might even try and fossick. They're famous for that boulder Opal. Wish us luck in Quilpie. And there's a couple of really unique sites to see around town. So we're going to get around, check it all out. You ready to do it?
Yep.
All right, let's get into the Visitor Information Centre.
Welcome to Jasper's Radio Hour. Coming up next is Johnny Be Good. Cubby Mom, do you read me? Okay.
sites around town are really worth checking out. Our first stop was at St Finbarr's, and this is quite a unique altar here, completely embedded with the boulder opal. So worth a look in there, or if you need to go and say your prayers, this would be the place to do it. Across the road there is the Friendly Grocers, and I do want to give these guys a shout out because the food looked so fresh. They have absolutely everything. It is hard to believe that you are out here in the deep outback and they've got all of this amazing produce available. Now, directly behind St Finbarr's and opposite the Friendly Grocers is worth a look, a school with a little bit of a difference. Have you ever seen that before, Jasper?
No.
How do you think that works?
Well, I guess you go up the stairs to get in and down the slide to get out. Should we have a try?
Would you like to get out of school that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, Quilpie also has a swimming pool, a great library, a pub that does awesome counter meals, so we're told, and they have a free washdown bay for the public to use. It is that hot artesian bore water with a 2-hour limit, so just an awesome facility for you to be able to go and wash down your truck or your van after being out here in all that red dirt and mud.
It's really cool too to check out the great Artesian Basin interpretive signage that they have in town. It shows you where the original bore was placed, and it gives you all of the detail about this incredibly huge underground water source that is the life force of Outback Queensland. Next for Jasper and I was to head out to probably their natural highlight here, and that is the Baldy Top Lookout. The hot tip here would be, if you can, head out there for sunset. This is a great vantage point to take in all of the jump ups around the surrounding region. You can see back towards Quilpie, about 6 kilometres away. And on your way back to town, it's worth stopping in to the airport to check out the landing site of solo aviator Amy Johnson. And this is also where there is the public fossicking, if you want to try and fossick one of their world famous boulder opals.
We're just out fossicking. We've got some tools. Dad's just putting a bit of water, cold water, in the bucket. Ready to go.
Yes, we are. Just behind us there, that's actually the Quilpie Airport. It's also a significant landmark as it was one of the landing sites for solo aviator Amy Johnson back there, I think in 1930, around then. Pretty cool.
Yes.
All right, you ready to fossick?
Yeah.
All right, so a good tip. The signage isn't that great. There's a massive sign as you drive in saying there's fossicking, but then when you get there you can't sort of see where. Well, you have to walk beyond the trees past where you park the car, and then you come across this mound out here, which is perfect for families who want to fossick. Family that fossicks together stays together. Can't believe I just said that. But anyway, I think this is actually one of the very cool initiatives of the Quilpie Shire Council. They put this big mound of potential wealth for the fossicker to find an opal. So let's get our hands going.
I found a bin, weirdly.
Well, mate, that's actually part of our cleaning method. Oh, it is a bin. Normally, that's how you clean. Righto, yeah. Let's do it.
Hey, Dad, look at these beautiful patterns.
Whoa, that looks awesome.
Do you think that's maybe an opal?
I don't know, but it's a pretty good looking rock.
I think it's an opal.
Hey, look, but I do think that I did find some opal in this one. Watch this. Look, right on the edge there, can you see it? Can you see the opal just in there? So if nothing else, we have found some really beautiful rocks, which will be fun when we go through them all later. You can show Katie. Awesome.
Okay, we're about to jump into the cruiser and head about 115 kilometres further west down to Eromanga to their Natural History Museum for a tour to discover some of Australia's largest dinosaurs. I can't wait for this.
Jasper is so excited about this as well. What is great is that the road to Eromanga is currently open. Unfortunately, the road to Thargomindah is closed, and they are predicting at least another 35 to 50 mil of rain over the next couple of days. Hard to believe when you've got a day like today. So we'll get out to see the dinosaur, and then I think we might have to rejig our plans.
Yeah.
That impressive building behind us is the Eromanga Natural History Museum. It's a $6.5 million complex that is literally out here in the middle of nowhere.
It is incredible, and it is definitely worth a stop when you are out here in South West Outback Queensland. We just enjoyed an hour-long Australian dinosaur giants tour. We had Lily as our guide.
She was absolutely fantastic. Talk about passionate presenters making the experience.
Oh, 100%, and full of so much incredible information. We started our tour with a 20-minute video presentation, and then we had the opportunity to go out into the workshop and actually see these incredible fossils that are literally being dug up from the ground out here in Eromanga. It's home to Australia's largest dinosaur, Quilpie, who stood 30 metres long.
Epic.
Weighed 60 tonne, and they have incredibly preserved bones on display. It really puts into perspective just how incredible this planet is.
It truly does. What blows us away is that Eromanga is known as the town that is the furthest away from the sea in Australia. Mm-hmm. Ironically, it is actually smack in the middle of what was known as the Eromanga Inland Sea 130 million years ago. So it's quite amazing that now it's the furthest town from the ocean. Mm-hmm. What we loved as well is that you got to walk and talk through the dinosaur lab and actually see how this process takes place. I mean, it is painstakingly long. Well, not really when you consider that we're talking about dinosaurs from, you know, somewhere between 65 and 95 million years ago. Yeah. So it's pretty impressive. Now, something that we could highly recommend is that you actually stop and take some time out, because you have travelled all this distance, to enjoy the Fourth Trochanter. That is the name of the cafe that is housed inside this beautiful architecturally designed building. What is the Fourth Trochanter?
It is the knuckly, knobbly bit on the lower part of the dinosaur's leg bone.
That's right.
There you go. That was the technical term.
Yes, and without it, they would not be able to walk, being such huge, massive animals. So that is actually the key to the dinosaur. There you go.
Mm-hmm. And they serve up good meals.
Yes, that's right. That's what I was going to say. If this is your thing and you want to be a budding paleontologist, you can actually take part in their 10-day fossil prep program. All the details are in our description, or you can visit their website to find out more, to join in their yearly 2-week digs to uncover and discover these 100-million-year-old fossils.
And there is some more exciting development happening out here. So a good reason for us to come back in a few years' time and see just what is taking place out here. Put this on your must visit when you are out here doing the Natural Sciences Loop.
And my only wish is that at some day we can look back and see that the fly no longer exists except in fossil form. Jasper?
I'm good.
Excellent.
Playing Brio.
Brio. That is an excellent travel game for the iPad because it's download and you don't have to worry about the Wi-Fi, especially when you're out in these outback places like we are today, in between Quilpie and Eromanga.
Yeah.
Yes, I got it right. Out there checking out the dinosaur. Very cool.
That was awesome. Such a highlight.
Yes. Now we've pulled in here to a really fantastic road stop. It is actually the only one along this sort of 120 kilometre stretch. So worth stopping, make yourself a cup of tea, stretch the legs, walk around the vehicle, all that jazz. We're not towing out there. Look, it would have been interesting towing the van out there after all of this rain because the shoulders of the road are quite soft and you do have to really factor in the weather when you're doing these kind of treks. So it was good just to be able to leave the van and zip out there and know that we, you know, had ourselves probably in the safest mode of transport.
Well, a lot of the stretches are almost single width bitumen and then it widens out again, but there's certainly long stretches where you are having to pull off. So, yeah.
All right, so we actually thought this is a great opportunity. We've pulled up at this rest stop and there is this massive sign that says road safety warning, tips for safe driving in Outback Queensland. And we've got a list of our own ideas as well. So we're going to run down these because this is fantastic. All right. In an emergency, stay with your vehicle until help arrives.
Yeah, that's such an important one and I think one that you could easily forget in an emergency situation.
Yeah. Stay together. Stay with the vehicle. Okay, on that, something that's not on that list there, but make sure you got all the comms that you need. Obviously, have your radio on board is really good.
We've got our little Garmin InReach Mini with us as well. Amazingly, the Telstra service out here is pretty great considering how remote we are. We've had service on our phones pretty much the whole way. It has been a little patchy at times, but you're not too far from service out here.
Yep, fantastic. All right, on the vehicle as well, make sure that, you know, your tyres, the condition of your tyres are all good. You've got the right pressure in them. Drop them and adjust them depending on the terrain. This is fully bitumen the whole way, but again, those edges are quite soft. You do have to give way to road trains when you're in road train areas and you're on these single lanes. So at some point, you're going to have to get off the road. In some instances, not all the way, but certainly as we experienced today, we had to get completely off because he wasn't going to move.
No, that's such a good tip. Actually, in road train country, so to speak, if you're in convoy or you're following other vehicles, you need to leave a distance of 200 metres between yourself and the vehicle in front of you. That's obviously to allow the road train to be able to overtake safely and have enough room. So that's also a good tip.
In particular if you're towing vans, because quite often that is when you're in convoy and you've got to think the length of your vehicle, the van, those trucks, 53 metres long.
Yeah.
You're going to need to give them plenty of space. All right, we've also got water as well. That's something that is a must, particularly then if you do have some sort of problem and you could be there 2-3 days before either someone realises or before help arrives. Make sure you got plenty of water on board.
I think it's all about the preparation too, and having those essentials like your water, like your first aid kits, your snake bite kits, you know, enough spare tools or items that are going to help or get
Gaff.
you out of trouble. Gaff tape.
Gaff tape.
Yep, saving the world with gaff tape. But really just being prepared and thinking about, well, what are those things, water and snacks as well, if we are going to be stuck somewhere for a few hours or, you know, maybe a little bit longer, what's going to get us through.
I also think slow down.
Yeah.
I think, you know, just because the speed limit might be 100 kilometres an hour, or in WA, in some parts there, Northern Territory, 130 kilometres an hour, you don't have to do that speed. There is so much wildlife. We actually have seen more roadkill today than we have since Tassie.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Noticeably so. And I mean, it's amazingly green out here, particularly on the sides of the road from all of that water that's just sitting around.
Amazing.
So that of course, attracts the wildlife down. But it's almost been shocking how much wildlife we've seen roadkill today. Amazing how much wildlife we've seen. Also, the bird life has been incredible. Emus.
So
Daddy
cool.
emu with his babies.
And plenty of unfenced properties. I mean, these are, you know, million-acre properties out here, hectares even. So there are stock animals, in particularly cattle, very large cattle, sheep. We've seen it all. Most of the roadkill, I'd have to say, are kangaroos, lizards, and even the odd goat as well.
Yeah, well, we saw some goats as well, baby lambs.
Yep. Okay, what else we got? Distance between towns are lengthy, allow for regular rest stops. We've just talked about that. Drive with your lights on. Okay, this is a question that people have brought up with us in the past. You know, what's right, what's wrong. Lots of conflicting information online. For us, we always drive with our lights just on that first click. I guess like the Parkers, the low beam, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, it can get really dusty out here. So making sure that you are as visible as possible is a great advice. And it's on the rules up here as well. Yeah. And again, in those dusty conditions, don't follow too closely. And I think that is pretty well it. The last thing up there is belt up in the bush. I mean, that is obvious. I don't know anyone who would these days, but still, I think it's, you know, don't think that just because you're probably never going to see a police officer
out here in the Wild West.
Yeah, no, you want to wear your belt up. All right, I think that's it. It also just says the roads can become very slippery as well in the wet. And look, there's been a bucket load of rain out here, as we've already talked about, and there is more coming.
Well, the massive bottom part of this sign in bright yellow says drive to current road conditions, and they can change so quickly, as we know from being out here. So every visitor information centre will be able to give you the current road conditions.
Or you can visit all the W's, qld-traffic.qld.gov.au, and we'll also put that link down in our description as well.
Yeah, but another really important one, just make a phone call, check ahead before you go.
Okay, last on our list, be nice. When you've got,
especially at the end of a long day.
But, you know, more so than even to each other, what I was really referring to here is the people that are out in these absolutely remote rural towns, you know, visitor experience centres, the experiences themselves. Yeah. High season, you know, you are the 20th thousand person that's walked through the door and asked the same question. The toilets here? Do you serve coffee? Yeah. All of those things, you know, it would start to wear a little bit thin when there's signs everywhere telling you this information and we're still asking it. So, yeah, so I think just when you got that choice between being kind or being right, choose to be kind.
Good advice, Dal.
Yes.
Sure, I'll remind you of that at some point.
She will. Absolutely. You know, do as I say, not as I do. All right, I think that is it for us. We are going to actually pull up at a different spot that Jasper and I had visited, and that is Baldy Top, and go for a cup of tea.
Time. I need a cup of tea.
Yeah, awesome. All right, let's do it. Ready to hit the road, mate?
Yeah.
Hit the road, Jack. Here we go.
Wait for the wind, wait Since you went away, it came to a halt. Silence is everywhere, and you're not. And now I'm running like there's no tomorrow. My life was on a one-way track. This ain't a story about happy ending. Oh, I could set this world on fire. I could tear this town apart. I tried, but I could never be a part of you and your beautiful life. With a painted smile, I was the willow tree. You were the fire that burned me. Right till the end, we didn't know we lost. It's not easy living with my fingers crossed. You ran away from all the madness. You stumbled till you found your pace. I know now you were better off without me. I should set this world on fire. I should tear this town apart. I'm hurting just to feel my body. I'm breaking just to be apart. I tried, but I could never be a part of you and your beautiful life. Your beautiful life. Oh, I wish that I could ease your sorrow. I wish that I could ease your pain. This ain't a story about happy endings. We should set this world on fire. We should tear this town apart.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, subscribe and share our channel. And if you'd like more information on full-time RV travel and living, visit our website, thefeelgoodfamily.com. There you'll find loads of free resources, our weekly podcast, caravan cooking recipes, our monthly Go RV magazine articles and much more. We look forward to seeing you next week. Take care of yourself and your family, and happy trails.
I'm not. This is my first go.
You wouldn't know. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's getting worse. Oh, there we go. Yep. Never had one lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there we go. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's hurting me to watch. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's it. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Yes. Yes!
Yes! Woo!
We've got our mud face skins.
Face mask?
Yep. Chose our scented mud face. What's it called?
Face mask.
Chose our scented face marks.
A creature from the deep.
Yeah.
This week we set up camp at an authentic. This week we set up camp at an authentic. It's so hard to say. No. This week we set up camp at an authentic. Thanks, babe.
Thank you, Justa. Thank you.
Wait,
That's all right. That's all right. Aha. Where are you?
I'm right here.
Excellent. Nah, you're in Quilpie. All right, Jasperoo.
It's good.
It's a shame that the flies think it's a good view up here too.
Yeah.
How'd you go?
Well, good. I had to take my shoe off so then I can dump out some of my rocks.
You're collecting rocks in your shoes?
Yeah. I think it's just from climbing.
Yeah.
I didn't really come in my hikers.